I got you. Now you listen to my commands. Let's try you out. Anatomical position. Now. The anatomical position is a standard reference posture used in anatomy to describe the location and relation of body parts accurately. In this position, the person stands upright, facing forward, with feet together and parallel, arms at the sides, and palms facing forward. This consistent stance ensures clear and uniform descriptions of body structures and movements. It will be important for us to understand the different movements that is essential for analyzing how joints move through specific angles. This knowledge is vital for enhancing biomechanical efficiency, optimizing physical performance, ensuring proper movement techniques, and preventing injuries in both clinical and athletic settings. But of course, it'll be important for me if I want to use humans to conquer the world. Now let's study it all. Angular movements are movements that change the angle between two body parts, such as bending, straightening, lifting, or lowering a limb. One of its examples are flexion and extension. These are types of angular movements that involve changing the angle between two body parts. Flexion refers to a movement that decreases the angle between bones, especially meaning bending. For example, when you bend your elbow to bring your forearm closer to your upper arm, or when you bend your knee, neck, or trunk forward, you are performing flexion. On the other hand, extension is the opposite movement. It increases the angle between bones, meaning straightening. This occurs when you straighten your arm after bending it, extend your leg at the knee, or return to an upright position after bending forward. In short, flexion brings body parts closer together, while extension moves them farther apart. Abduction and adduction are movements that describe how a body part moves relative to the midline of the body, an imaginary line that divides the body into left and right halves. Abduction is the movement away from the midline, while adduction is the movement toward the midline. For example, when you raise your arms or legs sideways away from your body, you are performing abduction. When you bring them back down to your sides, you are performing adduction. These movements also apply to fingers and toes. Spreading them apart is abduction, while bringing them together is adduction. Circumduction is a circular movement of a body part that combines flexion, extension, abduction, and adduction in sequence. This motion forms a cone-like shape, with the end of the limb moving in a circle, while the other end remains relatively still. For example, when you move your arm in a circular motion at the shoulder or swing your leg in a circle at the hip, you are performing circumduction. It allows for a wide range of motion and is commonly seen in ball and socket joints such as the shoulder and hip. Rotational movements involve a bone or body part spinning or turning around its own long axis. These movements don't move the body forward or backward, but instead pivot it in place. Rotational movements are important because they allow the body to turn, twist, and adjust direction, which is essential for coordination, balance, and efficient motion. Of course, there are two kinds of rotation. It is the internal rotation and the external rotation. Internal rotation, also called as medial rotation, happens when a limb turns towards the midline of the body. For example, when you rotate your head to look over your shoulder toward your chest or turn your face to left or right, the side you're turning towards represents internal rotation of the side of the neck muscles. Next, external rotation, also known as lateral rotation. It is the opposite movement. It occurs when a limb turns away from the midline. For example, When you return your head to face forward or rotate it outward from a turned position, you're performing external rotation. And then we have a special rotation that occurs in the forearm. Pronation occurs when you turn your palm downward or backward, as if you're placing your hand flat on a table. This happens when radius crosses over the ulna. Then supination, on the other hand, is when you turn your palm upward or forward, like holding a bowl of soup. An easy way to remember is supination is like you're holding soup. Supination, soup. Last is special movements. The first on the list is the inversion and eversion. These are movements that occur at the ankle joint, specifically involving the sole of the foot. Inversion happens when you turn the sole of your foot inward toward the midline of the body. For example, when the bottom of your foot faces your other foot, you are performing inversion. This movement is what often happens when someone twists their ankle inward. Eversion, on the other hand, is the opposite motion. It occurs when you turn the sole of your foot outward, away from the midline. In this movement, the bottom of your foot faces away from the other foot. Next, dorsiflexion and plantar flexion, movements that occur again at the ankle joint, involving the foot and toes. Dorsiflexion happens when you raise the front part of your foot upward towards your shin. For example, when you walk on your heels or point your toes upward while standing. Next, plantar flexion is the opposite movement. It occurs when you point your toes downward away from your shin. This is the motion you make when you stand on your tiptoes or press down on the gas pedal. It increases the angle between your foot and leg. Next, opposition and reposition are special movements that occur mainly in the thumb and are essential for grasping and handling objects. Opposition happens when you move your thumb across your palm to touch the tips of the other fingers. This unique movement allows you to pick up small objects, hold a pencil, or button a shirt. It brings the thumb and fingers together, enabling fine motor skills. Reposition, on the other hand, is the opposite movement. It occurs when you move your thumb back to its normal position beside the hand after touching the fingers. Moving on, we have the protraction and retraction. This occurs when a body part moves forward or backward along a horizontal plane without tilting up or down. Protraction is the movement of a body forward, away from the spine. For example, when you push your shoulders forward or jut your jaw outward, you're performing protraction. Retraction is the opposite movement. It occurs when a body part moves backward towards the spine. For instance, pulling your shoulders back or bringing your jaw inward demonstrates retraction. Next, elevation and depression are movements that occur when a body part moves upward or downward, usually along a vertical plane. Elevation is the movement of a body part upward. For example, when you shrug your shoulders towards your ears or close your mouth by lifting your jaw, you are performing elevation. On the other hand, depression occurs when a body part moves downward. For instance, lowering your shoulders after a shrug or opening your mouth by dropping your jaw demonstrates depression. Lastly, lateral flexion is a movement that occurs when a body part, usually the trunk or neck, bends sideways, away from the midline of the body. For example, when you tilt your head toward your shoulder or bend your torso to the side to reach something, you are performing lateral flexion. This movement decreases the angle between the body and the side towards which it bends while slightly increasing the angle on the opposite side. You're rocking well. Let's conquer the world!